Hi, I'm Jason LaValley.
And I'm Jorge Prince with LaValley Industries, and we're very happy to be able to welcome the 2022 No Dig Show to our home state, Minnesota.
The frozen tundra.
And as happy as we are to be able to welcome you to our state, we're equally happy to be able to introduce to you our two new products and innovations. The first is the Pit Pump Drill Mud Pump, and the second is our Efficient Modulated Power, or EMP, generator. So in order to be able to properly explain how our two new products work together on the HDD job site, we first have to take a minute and look back at what the current practices are in terms of handling mud as part of the reclamation process during HDD operations. So we know historically there has never been a purpose-built pit pump for this type of work. In fact, most HDD contractors make do with a variety of solutions.
That's right, George. The pump's really been left behind. Currently, the typical pit pump is designed for pumping water or small particle size pumps, right? So typical pump GPM is 4 to 500 GPM, and it only can pump particles up to maximum maybe 3 inches in particle size. So that's a problem.
And often, you find out how much you can pump when it relates to mud when you're on the job site because almost all of those pumps are rated for water, right? All
Yes.
the specifications you find, it's not for working with higher viscosity mud.
And when you're working with higher viscosity muds, what happens is these pumps, they get coated with that mud and then it acts as an insulator. And guess what happens? They get hot and burn up.
Exactly. So we have seen a lot of job sites where in order to get the job done, you're seeing people using multiple pumps, often two pumps and two generators to get the job done. And that's just simply because there's never been a purpose-built pump. So at LaValley Industries, we have made a career out of finding those pain points on the HDD job site and bringing innovation and bringing solutions to help make that job site work better or to make it safer.
And more efficient.
So when we look at currently how mud is being handled in this situation, we saw a tremendous opportunity to bring new technology and make this process better for everyone. And that's what led to the development of our brand new product, the
The
pit
pit
pump.
pump.
So what makes our pit pump unique? Well, first and foremost, it was designed, engineered, developed, and manufactured to work specifically in our industry, to work in those really challenging and difficult applications that we see on job sites all over the world. So in practicality, what does that mean?
Right, we're talking about HDD here, horizontal directional drilling. It's different than vertical drilling. And it's pumping real high viscosity muds, real heavy weight muds. This pump will provide to you 2 times the GPM that normal pumps will provide. So you're going to have one pump pumping 1,200 gallons a minute, 14-pound mud at 120 vis, and you're going to be able to pump it a long ways, 250 feet.
And that's before you get to the particle size, right? We are dealing with much larger particles in these applications, and traditional pumps, they struggle when they get something that's 3 inches.
They certainly do. So this pump's going to handle up to 5-inch size particles, and we're going to discharge that's 8-inch in diameter. So we can really pump that high particle size.
Another really neat feature is we can actually reverse the impeller
Yes.
to dislodge any type of obstacle.
Yeah, there's no pump out there on the market that can do this. If you get something in there big and it lodges up, throw her in reverse.
And also another key component for us was being able to design an advanced temperature control system that can prevent overheating because we actually cool this pump.
That's right. We don't have to worry about that drill mud caking over our pump and insulating it, creating heat. Cake it all you want. We don't care.
And that's because the generator that we're going to talk about in a minute actually provides a cooling loop to this pump to keep it cool. Another one of those benefits is that if this pump gets stalled out, it won't burn up.
It won't burn up. You can stall it out all day long, which means it's plugged and it can't rotate anymore all day long and it's not going to burn up.
A couple of our other really very nice features here is that we can vary the pump speed so that we can allow flow to be optimized based on whatever the operator wants. And we also have active health monitoring, so there's continual feedback to the operator so they know what's going on with that pump and can anticipate any potential problems before they happen.
Right, so we're talking about a health monitoring system, right?
That's right. And before we get to that whole point, we have manufactured this to be a robust system made of some of the strongest material you're going to find, including high chrome alloy steel components that give it extended run dry capability.
So as it relates to wear components, we're going to be able to go up to maybe 2 times what you typically see on the job site for pump wear components.
We believe that building a purpose-built pump such as we've done really will revolutionize how mud is handled on systems around the world. So as we were developing the new pit pump, we realized that the pit pump could really benefit from a specialized generator developed to power it. And in doing so, we realized there was an opportunity to create a new type of generator that was highly efficient, not just to power the pit pump, but to potentially power other implements. So what makes the EMP40 generator so efficient?
I like to call it special power, George, but its name is really the efficient modulated power for a reason. What it's doing is following the load of that implement. As the load increases or decreases on the implement, in this case the pit pump, it actually increases the RPM of the engine of the generator or decreases automatically.
So we've seen that type of technology exist before, but on much smaller generators. We've not seen that before on an industrial generator, and we believe that we could bring that same concept to our generator and make it super fuel efficient because it's never burning more fuel than the implement, in this case the pit pump, requires.
That's right. Typical generators, George, you set them to an RPM and it runs there at a high RPM all day long, not the EMP generator.
So that was one piece of this, a very significant part. But another part was creating a liquid cooling loop in our generator.
Right, a more efficient pump or more efficient generator in this case because we are using a liquid cooled solution to cool the components of the generator and the implement.
And we know that heat is the enemy of efficiency. When things run hot, they are not efficient. When they run cool, they are. So that cooling loop allows us to keep both the generator and the pit pump working at maximum efficiency. And just like with the pit pump, we built in active health monitoring into this generator.
Right, we know what's going on with every component of this generator while it's working all day long. And you can do it from the comfort of your office.
So that is a really neat feature that you can actually monitor everything that's going on with this pit pump and generator from off-site, wherever that might be. Last but not least, what's really fun about this generator is while you're powering the pit pump, you can also power a traditional single or three-phase electrical system as well. So this generator has flexibility for you.
That's right. So while you're on the job site, you're pumping and using the EMP40 to power your pit pump, you can also power the tool van or the drill cab.
And in the world we live in, we know that fuel costs are so important. So getting those fuel costs down is critical to every operator. And there's also potential environmental impacts. The less diesel fuel you have to bring on site, the less you have to worry about spills as well. The less emissions you have, the lower your carbon
Less
footprint.
carbon footprint, that's right.
And as we all know, those are things that everyone is trying to attain in today's world.
The pit pump and the EMP40 coupled together on the job site give you the capability of pumping 1200 GPM at 120 vis and 14-pound mud.
And the best part of that is you're doing it with a single pump and a single generator, which is efficient in and of itself. And that's before you get to the liquid cooling features of both the pump and the generator, which create long life in our components, which reduces maintenance costs and reduces downtime for our contractors on their jobs. And that's before we get to fuel efficiency.
A 40% reduction in fuel.
And that's before we talk about reduced emissions, reduced carbon footprint, and an overall robust and durable pump and generator, the likes of which has not been seen before on an HDD job site anywhere in the world. Welcome to the future. It's the Empower EMP40 generator and the Pit Pump implement.